Hey everyone, how you doing today? And today I want to do a really interesting video on the most mysterious gate in all of Brooklyn. It's right underneath the Verrazzano Bridge. So with no further ado, I'm going to show you some video. I'm sure it's a gate that everybody knows. You've all passed it. You can see it right from the Belt Parkway. You can see it when you walk through Shore Parkway, right underneath the Verrazzano Bridge. So enjoy the video and I'll tell you about it as we go along. Alrighty folks, so as you can see, this is a video I took just walking along the Verrazzano Bridge, and this is a place where everybody knows. You have the Verrazzano Bridge right in front of you. For those who don't know, that's the Belt Parkway to your right. And this is the Verrazzano Bridge, one of the most popular bridges in the entire world in Brooklyn. It's the Saturday Night Fever Bridge, which John Travolta sat under, and he talked about the bridge with Stephanie. But anyway, the reason for this video is I'm going to show you the most mysterious gate in all of Brooklyn. Now, it's a gate that's actually owned by the United States Army in an area that's owned by the United States Army. Now, we do know that Fort Hamilton is off to your right, which I'm not going to show because it's an Army base. And Fort Wadsworth is way over here to the left, which I'm not going to show either because that's an Army base. But there's a gate right here that, as you can see, everybody drives past it. Bikes, cars, you name it. And when you come to this particular part of the gate, it's a 4-foot wide gate, and it says, in fact, when you're going to see it right here, you're going to notice there's a lot of cameras there. There's a solar powered thing there. And you say to yourself, well, why on earth would such a mysterious gate that if you go by the gate, it tells you prohibited by law, U.S. Army, federal property. You would say to yourself, well, why does such a thing exist so close to public areas, so close where you can just actually walk and look into it like I'm going to do right now? Well, stay tuned to the video and you're going to be totally amazed. I mean, I lived in Brooklyn my entire life and I just found out this story by doing a lot of research. And so just stand by. I'm just going to show you this video as we walk up on it. All right, so as you can see, we're coming up on it now. So I'm going to tell you folks, you're not going to believe this, but this area right over here that I'm going to show you, believe it or not, is exactly where the British landed in Brooklyn for the Battle of Brooklyn. Now, we all know that we lost the Battle of Brooklyn, but this little gate right here, now you'd say to yourself, why wouldn't there be a marker there? Why wouldn't there be something to commemorate? Because obviously, yeah, we lost the Battle of Brooklyn, but we did win the war. So I'm just going to show you a little more of the bridge here. You'd say to yourself, well, why wouldn't there be such a marker? I couldn't tell you. Now, I'm going to show you what this really is. I'm going to tell you the history of it. You're going to be fascinated. But it's just something that I think deserves some kind of historical recognition. But when you see it, you're going to be like, hey, yeah, I walked by that a million times. But it's, to me, the most mysterious gate because why would, now I know it's near Fort Hamilton, but why would this little area be owned by Fort Hamilton and the U.S. Army? So take a look. This is it. You've passed it a million times, I'm sure. You're coming up on it right now. And this is it. Now, the last time I drove by there, see, this is it right here. So right there, folks, that's where the British landed. 15,000 troops. So right here, folks, this is, I'm going to stop the video. This is where 15,000 troops disembarked from British ships. There was a lot of Tories in this area back in the day. Tory was someone who was loyal to Britain. So this pier was called Denise Pier. Now I have a photo I'm going to put up here, and you're going to see what it looked like. The pier actually existed up until 1964. But every so often they open up this area to, I think it's twice a year, that the U.S. Army lets college kids come into this area. I do have a video of some pictures inside that they had posted up online, so I'll show you a little bit of that video. But this is where the British troops came. And the reality, folks, is this is owned by the United States Army. If you go over this fence, it's kind of like an Area 51 thing. If you go over this fence and you go in this area without authorization, you are going to be federally charged by the U.S. Army. And trust me, they don't fool around. You read any stories of people who went on to Area 51 or any of these federal areas, you have to go through a whole lot of stuff to get yourself out of that. So if you're looking at this video, stay away from this area. Do not go through over this gate. You're allowed to look in there, no problem there. Probably tens of thousands of people look in there every single day as they drive on the Bell Parkway. But I'm going to put up a photo right now of how it looked in 1964. Well, I guess I get a pass. I was born in 1965, so I guess I get a pass as to not remembering it. But this piece of history in Brooklyn is just unbelievable. It's absolutely true. It's called Denise Pier, and actually Denyse Wharf. It was named after people who lived over there. And to me, look, even though we lost the Battle of Brooklyn, this was historical. We did end up winning the war, and it did lead to... So what this really led to was the British came over. They won the Battle of Brooklyn. 400 guys stood by from Maryland who were from the Maryland Brigade, and they held them off long enough for Washington to escape and eventually get to Valley Forge. And everyone knows the story from Valley Forge on. And if you don't, you should look it up. It's pretty interesting. So, folks, this is a video from the cleanup. I believe the kids come from Kingsborough, but you have to get authorization. I actually had a paper showing the authorization, but you don't really need to see that. But this is just a very interesting video showing what this looks like in there, because you really can't see this close unless you have permission from the United States Army. You know, they go in and they clean all this stuff up, and I think it's twice a year that they actually do it. Here's some of the stuff that they found. I would love to find an old British helmet or something like that there. Holy cow. Have American pickers come over and take a look at that. So now for the mystery, folks. Now that you've seen the reality of this, there is a ton of conspiracy theories surrounding this area. All right, so back to my video. I wanted to talk about the conspiracy side of this now. Now you saw the facts, and those are definitely hardcore facts. I had done a video about a tunnel being underneath the Verrazzano Bridge, which I really think is definitely, well, I know it's there. So like, here's the conspiracy theories now. I've heard lots of crazy things about what's underneath the Verrazzano Bridge. Obviously, there's a lot of trash under there, and there's cars and things like that. But the water underneath, just to start off with, the water at the deepest point underneath the Verrazzano Bridge is surprisingly only 96 feet. So for there to be a tunnel underneath there is no big stretch. In fact, there really is a tunnel underneath around there because they wanted to build a subway in 1920 to connect up Brooklyn and Staten Island. Now, anybody who's ridden the New York City subway knows that the R train, which again was made famous in Saturday Night Fever, goes up to about 94th Street. That's where like the subway terminates. So you have a tunnel over there. They were building a tunnel in Staten Island. Back in the day, all these subway areas were independent. So they apparently lost money for it, and they never finished it. So you have an unfinished tunnel on the other side of Staten Island. Now think about this, folks. The reason why the Verrazzano Bridge was put where it was placed was because, well, one, if anything ever happened, they didn't want all the bridges blocking up the harbor if something ever happened. But there are two forts there, Fort Wadsworth on the Staten Island side and Fort Hamilton on the right-hand side of the bridge. So obviously they did it to connect up both of the forts. So look, we pay our money in taxes, and I love the military, but honestly, if there wasn't a tunnel underneath that bridge connecting those forts together, I'd be disappointed. You know, if you think about it, anybody who's driven over the Verrazzano Bridge, how many tanks, how many, vehicles and Jeeps and things like that have you seen over there? Not too many. So hopefully there's a little tunnel underneath there with our taxpayer money. Well, you decide. So folks, I guess it's for you to decide, but that is definitely established history. I really think we need a plaque over there commemorating, look, we lost that, I said that before, we lost that battle, but It led to the winning of America and the revolution. So I think we should somehow commemorate that. But there you go. So folks, drop me a line on this video. Tell me what you think. And hopefully you learned something. If you'd like to subscribe, that'd be wonderful, because we're starting a suicide prevention foundation for my son Matt. So I'd love you to subscribe. All the proceeds from this channel are going to go towards suicide prevention. It's going to be called the Waffles Foundation. We're in the process of putting in the paperwork now. It's going to be a legitimate 501c operation, saving lives through music one note at a time. We're going to be distributing musical instruments for kids in need. So it's going to be a great foundation. We're going to be working with the churches, with everybody. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Drop me a line. This is Al signing off, and I'll see you real soon. Gonna go grab myself a hot dog at Nathan's. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.